What's up, guys? Jay here, and welcome to whatever this is. I didn't really plan this through. I just wanted to make a video, or, well, in this case, you're not seeing my face. So, I don't know, is this like a podcast episode? I uploaded the last one like months and months and months ago. Or is this just, I don't know, what are we gonna call this? Like Jetpack's Corner? I don't know. But I felt the need to talk and upload something. I wanted to make something, and this is just what it is. So you're gonna have to deal with it. But anyway, 4 weeks ago, which is a long ass time, but 4 weeks ago, I posted a post on my community tab asking you guys what you're currently in need of and what's going on in your life, because I wanted to make videos out of what you guys were commenting, and I didn't get around to it except for like one or two things, because lately I've just been super busy and stressed out. So now I just decided to go through some of these comments and just answer them now. So I thought that was a good idea. Why not? And I don't know if this is cool. Maybe we can really do this like more often. Start like a, I don't know, Jetpack's Corner, whatever. But yeah, I'd say let's just get into it. Somebody commented how to accept yourself when you look at other people having a great life, but you can only accept yourself if you're like them. Self-acceptance and comparing yourself to others is what a whole lot of people deal with on a daily basis, and you really need to stop comparing yourself, because first of all, you can't compare your chapter 2 or 3 to somebody's chapter 20. Everybody is an individual. We're all the same because we're all human, but everybody's an individual. And you can't really compare anybody to anyone, because like you could line up all 7.5 billion of us on this planet and you could walk them all down and you'd never find yourself twice. Like, even if you saw somebody who looks just like you, they're not carrying the same heart in their chest as you do. So I always say your individuality is your superpower, because it is, because nobody can do things like you do them. And just because how you do things is not how the majority of people like does things, doesn't mean that you're worth less or that you're a failure or whatever. Like, it doesn't mean anything negative. If you ask me, it's actually quite beautiful that nobody can do stuff like you do, because nobody sees the world like you do. And really, other people's great life is their life. If that's what makes them happy, that's their story. But imagine if you had the exact same life as somebody else that you see on the internet or whatever. Trust me, in most cases, you think that's what you want, but it's really not. Most of the time when we feel like things aren't going our way and we're not getting what we want, it's because that's not what you need. Life happens for you, not to you, and you always get what you need. And what that is really trying to show you is that what you need is actually what you want. I feel like if tomorrow you had that life you see on the internet every day, on social media, presented to you every day, which is really just people's like highlight reels most of the time. If you had that, I think you'd get bored within a week. I still remember a SpongeBob episode where Squidward moves into this neighborhood which is like full of Squidwards, and they all do the same thing. And he loves it for like a good week, and he like does what he always does, because it's what he wants. Or at least it's what he wanted. And then after a while, it just gets super boring, and he actually starts to miss SpongeBob and Patrick, because they're annoying him, but with them, it's like a new adventure, a new form of crazy every day, and that's what actually makes his life worthwhile and beautiful and fun, even though he seems to hate it most of the time, but really he loves them. So that's always a nice reminder for me personally as well, that yes, sometimes you see what other people have, what they're accomplishing, but I mean, it's their story, and it would be a shame if you wouldn't write yours just because you're so focused on somebody else's that you just forget to write your own, So don't get so caught up in other people's stories and write your own, because it's a beautiful one. It's as beautiful as you make it. So Hannah Montana really was right. Life's what you make it. So let's make it rock. A whole lot of people commented that they're in need of a long hug or like a cuddle. And obviously I can't give that to anybody through the internet, but I feel you. And I've like read some interesting stuff and also seen some videos that there's like a loneliness epidemic going on, which is also super understandable with social media, because I was born in 1995. When I grew up and I was a young kid, like we would always go out and do stuff, and now even like the youngest kids, like they play on iPads, and and kids as young as like 8 or 9 years old like go on social media, even though they shouldn't really be there, if you ask me. At least not yet. Like, enjoy your childhood. Like, I think that's so important. So we live a lot of our time through the screen, and as much as social media can connect people, it's just not the same as actually physically being there with someone. Social media is an escape for a lot of people because maybe, home life isn't the greatest. Maybe you don't have any friends, and like me as well, like some of my first like real friends were like, I met them on the internet, on Tumblr actually, and I even visited one of them. Like, I flew out to England, to Birmingham, Leicester to be exact, but I touched down in Birmingham. But it's just not the same as having somebody there. And like, even just, it's not even about, always having somebody to hold you, even though that's super nice. But I think it's more about just like little touches, like on the shoulder, or I don't know, just something as simple as someone like holding your hand. People are touch deprived, definitely, and there are videos about that on the internet. Like, just check them out if you're interested, because I think it's super duper interesting. At this point, you can't really think of a world without the internet and smartphones and all that jazz, but we shouldn't forget things like actual physical contact with people that we care about, and like nature, and life should be a balance of both. So I get it. I get that feeling, and I've felt that too, to be honest. And it does get sad, but just know that even though I can't hug anybody, and I can't hug any one of you, not through a screen, but just know that I send you out so much love. I got you in my heart, and I'm definitely thinking of every single one of you tonight who feels that way and who is in need of a long hug. At least, I think it's at least comforting to know that somebody is out there who actually cares and who is thinking of you. And tonight, just know that like I'm thinking of you, and I sure hope and pray that soon you'll get your cuddle session, all of us, cause why not? Love is super duper like healthy, and honestly the cure for everything, So all my love to you guys. Then somebody commented, I get bullied and everybody judges me because I have terrible acne, and I thought I was really happy, but then I just felt really empty. I'm sorry, I'm complicated. I try not to be a burden. First of all, you're not a burden. sometimes you guys, when I post something and you comment with like what's going on in your life, you always feel like you're being a burden, or you're like wasting my time because now I'm reading your comment. And I just want you to know that you're not a burden. You're not wasting my time. I'm doing this for a reason, and that reason is you. But about acne, it's something that people have. Millions of people have. When I was younger, I never really dealt with pimples or acne. Now more than back then. Definitely I'm getting more pimples now. And also, because I work out and I get like super sweaty at the gym, I got back acne that just comes from sweating a lot. So, there's not really much you can do about it, but I own it. Like yesterday, when I came out the shower, I looked at my back and I saw all those spots, and I was like, I could get sad about this, but no, it's mine. It's a sign that I'm doing something. It's a sign that I'm alive. Even, this may sound super weird, but I'm just gonna say it, like my car is like dirty on the outside. Like it really needs to get washed. But like a clean car, like what the fuck is that? Sorry for cursing, but if you're using something, it should look like you're using it, if you ask me. Same with sneakers. Like I don't get people who keep them like super duper clean. Like kicks should look like somebody's rocking them, like somebody's wearing them. So no matter what it is, if it's like acne, scars, or whatever, it's your story, and it's a sign that you're alive and your body is working and detoxing, like trying the best that it can to do that. And I know, people can be horrible. People can be real assholes, to be honest, especially pointing out something like that, and if it's an insecurity of yours. But, I feel like people point out stuff like that because they'd be super insecure themselves if they ever had that. I always say, no matter what anybody says, no matter what anybody thinks about you, or whatever the case, it's never personal, because they don't know you. They don't know your heart. They're just pointing out something on the surface, which in that case might be acne. But that doesn't make you any less beautiful. Somebody's inability to see your beauty does not mean that you're not beautiful. Not everybody has to like you, and not everybody's going to like you. And I think that's super okay, because the right people are going to come around. They'll love you regardless, no matter if acne or not, no matter what you look like, because it's about your soul. It's about your aura and how you make people feel. That's what it's really all about. So again, whatever your body, in that case, that part of your body, which is called the skin, is doing, it's just a sign that you're alive, you're living. I think it's a nice way to look at it like that. And try to not give people so much power over you, because it's just sad to give away your energy and your time like that. Take it back and do something with it. You have this one life in this one unique body, and it would be a shame if you just gave that power that you have away to others and let others be the captain of your ship when it's yours. Dewey Bill commented, how to be enough. How to be enough. That's a really good question. And there's no step-by-step tutorial to it, because there is no such thing as a tutorial or anything to it. The answer to it is actually pretty simple. It's just that a lot of people don't believe it. The answer is, you already are enough. You are so incredibly enough. Like, it's amazing how enough you are. Just because somebody can't see your worth, it doesn't mean that you're worthless or unworthy of living a great life, or unworthy of love and being loved. You are so very worthy of all good things life has to offer. That is not just for a selected couple of people on this planet. That's for everyone, but it's your beliefs that shape your reality. So if you feel worthless, you are attracting all these situations and things into your life, and as well as people that make you feel that way. But it's the truth. You are enough just the way you are. I believe at any given moment, people are always giving it their best, no matter what that looks like. And the way people are is really just how they've learned to be. Because we come on to this planet as like an empty canvas, as a baby who doesn't know what to do except for like scream, eat, sleep, whatever babies do. And the first couple of years of your life, you're imitating basically what your parents are doing, because, those are like the first two people in your life, in this newborn life that you were given. So you learn from your parents, and no matter, what they've learned in their life is what they're giving to you, basically. And like the list goes on and on. You get into kindergarten, you meet other kids, you get into elementary school, then high school, college eventually maybe. And at any time you're surrounded by other people, you're being influenced. And for whatever reason, you feel like you are not enough because some things happened, and that's just how these things that happened made you feel. And it's understandable that you feel that way. And because of those circumstances and things that happened, those experiences, you feel that way. And that shaped your belief system, But just because you believe something doesn't mean that it is actually true. And in that case, it couldn't be further from the truth. So I'm going to just say it again. Somebody else's inability to see your worth does not mean you're worthless. It doesn't. Those people are simply not for you. And I know when people leave, it can feel super lonely, and it can make you feel that way, but you're not that. I'm going to say the same thing to you. Like, people are going to come into your life who are going to see you for who you are, and they don't want anybody else. To them, you're worth it all. But most importantly, it's important that you feel that way about yourself, that you want better for yourself, that you're not going to settle for people like that anymore, that no matter what it is that you experience, that you say, I don't want to feel that way anymore, and that you just want better for yourself. It's important to set boundaries, to say no to people if you don't feel like saying yes. And it's important to spend time with yourself and do stuff that you want to do. Because when you take time for yourself and do stuff that excites you, that sets your heart on fire, whatever, that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning, that's self-care, like that's self-love. And when you do more and more and more of those things, that's when your self-worth and the love for you have for yourself grows. Right now you may not know what that looks like, and to that I can only say, try different things. Like, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and like imagine what that life looks like that you want to live, and what you want to do, what a good day looks like to you. Just imagine all these scenarios and draw something from that, and then just do it. But again, please don't ever think that you're not enough just because somebody else can't see it or somebody else made you feel that way. It's not the truth, and it's never going to be the truth. You are enough as you are, and that's never going to change. Laura posted anxiety. So Laura's dealing with some anxiety, and I feel you, because actually, if you didn't know, 2 years ago I checked myself into a mental hospital for 4 weeks because of anxiety and panic attacks. And actually was probably one of the best decisions I ever made for myself, to just get the help that I knew I needed. And it really helped a lot. Not only did like anxiety get better, but also the eating disorder that I carried with me for 22 years of my life was all of a sudden gone, just because I was working through like old childhood trauma and, you know, all that good stuff, that juicy stuff. But one thing I've learned when it comes to anxiety is that you have to face your fears in order for them to get better. There was a point where I felt too overwhelmed even stepping foot out of my room. So I made myself get out of my room, or I couldn't even go to the grocery store anymore just to get something to eat and to drink. So I made myself do it, knowing exactly that when I put myself in this situation, it's going to trigger anxiety and I could potentially get a panic attack. But I learned how to cope with those while I was at that hospital. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let this stop me. Like, in my head, I got this life I want to live, I want to create, and it certainly doesn't, like, it's not going to be inside my room. It's not going to be in those four walls for the rest of my life. I better go out and do something about this. So day by day, it was super exhausting, but I just wanted this so bad. I just want better for myself because I love myself like that. So I just went out and I did it. And then with every time I got better, sometimes, you know, I relapsed and I got a panic attack, but it's fine. You know, then once I went like 6 months without a panic attack, and then I got one, and I could have been hard on myself at that point, like, oh man, like, why am I getting this after like 6 months? I thought I was good, I worked through all of this, but instead I was like super proud of myself. Like, I went without an actual panic attack for 6 months, half a year. That's great. So don't be hard on yourself, but push yourself. You know, you really need to look your fear or your fears in the eyes and say, I'm not going to let you have control over my life anymore. You know, fear is natural, and it's actually a good thing that in some situations we feel scared, because it's only to protect us, right? But anxiety, when you have anxiety, you're feeling too much of that fear in like normal life situations that I guess usually you shouldn't be feeling, you know, because actually you're not in danger. It's just your body feels like it's in survival mode like all the fucking time and has to protect you like 24/7. And you know, fear can absolutely be a part of your team, but in a healthy dose, and it's really up to you to step up to fear and say, I'm not gonna let you have control over me anymore, and this is where I take it back. We're safe. Like, I did it like this. I have a teddy bear, and I started to call it Fear. Like, I gave it the name Fear. And I would take this teddy bear with me wherever I went, and I would have it in a backpack. You know, I would just carry it around. But still, I took this teddy with me everywhere. I just took my fear with me, like a little child, you know, being like, okay, you're not letting off of me, so then I'm taking you with me, but I'm in control. And I talked to my fear. And then there eventually came a point where I just felt like I didn't have to take it with me anymore. You know, eventually children, they grow up and you can leave them at home. So I literally said to this teddy bear, like, I'll be right back. You stay here and it's fine. And it worked. So over time, I just got better and better and better at feeling safe within my own skin again. And now, like, I don't even think about this teddy anymore. You know, my teddy isn't called Fear anymore. It's just Teddy. I've had Teddy ever since I was 12, so. But anyway, what I've just learned is that if you want to get over your anxiety, if you want it to improve and get better, you have to face it. Because usually, like, everything that you want to create and the life you're supposed to be living is on the other side of fear. And sometimes you just gotta jump in the cold water. And that really is the answer. I know it's exhausting. It takes energy. It takes work. But that's the way. The only way around or whatever. Like, there's no way around. The only way is through. So you gotta face your fears. You don't gotta do it all at once. You can do it day by day a little bit. Baby steps are still steps forward. And sometimes it is like 2 steps forward and 1 step back, but that's fine because you're still moving forward. I just want to encourage you to not let that get the best of you, because life is short, you guys. I don't like that thought either, but eventually we're all gonna go. And I don't want none of you guys to die with all these thoughts and hopes and dreams and all this love inside of you. I want you guys to create the best lives for yourself and let that out, because it's your right to let it all out. Live full, die empty. And I feel like so many people die full just because they were scared, and then they didn't do it, so they took it to the grave with them. And honestly, I don't want you to be one of those people. So work to let it out. Put that work, that time into yourself. That's not wasted time. That's valuable time, and you're gonna thank yourself for it eventually. And you'll look back and you'll have a big ass smile on your face, and you'll be glad, you'll be grateful. I'm seeing that right now. I'm just like so grateful for little 14-year-old me who back then didn't give up. And I'm just so grateful for 18-year-old me who got her eyes open and didn't want to die anymore, and all of a sudden actually wanted to live and be like, we're gonna do something about this. And I'm so grateful for 22-year-old me who went into that mental hospital and did something for her health. And to 34-year-old me, so 10 years down the road, I'm coming for you. And I'm super excited to meet you. And I bet you're doing great somewhere at the beach. And I'll see you there. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna finish this right here. Enough with the talking. Again, if you like this, if you're into this, then let's do this more often. Just tell me what you think. And besides that, I hope you have a beautiful morning, daytime, nighttime, sleep after this, whatever time it is where you are, wherever it is that you are. I just hope you're doing good. And I'll see you in my next video.